The hospital room was quiet, save for the soft beeping of machines and the occasional rustle of sheets. Ethan sat by the bed, his hand clasped tightly around Clara's. She had been fighting for months, her body slowly succumbing to the illness that had taken hold of her, but even now her spirit shone through, her eyes still bright, her smile still warm. "Ethan," she whispered, her voice weak but steady, "promise me something." He leaned closer, his heart aching. "Anything," he said. "Promise me you'll find happiness again after I'm gone. Don't spend the rest of your life mourning me. Live, Ethan, for me." Tears streamed down his face as he nodded. "I promise," he said, though the words felt like a betrayal. How could he ever be happy without her? Clara smiled, her fingers tightening around his. "Thank you," she said, and then, with a final, shuddering breath, she was gone. The days that followed were a blur. Ethan moved through them like a ghost, his grief a heavy weight on his chest. He kept his promise to Clara in the only way he knew how, by living. He went to work, paid the bills, and even forced himself to socialize with friends, but inside he was hollow. He filled their home with reminders of Clara. Her favorite flowers sat in a vase on the kitchen table. Her books lined the shelves, her clothes hung in the closet. He slept on her side of the bed, her pillow still faintly smelling of her perfume. He talked to her every night, telling her about his day, his thoughts, his dreams, but the silence that followed was deafening. Years passed and Ethan grew older. His friends moved on, finding new loves, new joys, but Ethan remained stuck in the past, unable to let go. He visited Clara's grave every week, bringing fresh flowers and sitting for hours, talking to her as if she were still there. One day, a neighbor, a kind, widowed woman named Maggie, invited him over for dinner. She had lost her husband years ago and understood his pain. Over time, they grew close, sharing stories of their lost loves and finding solace in each other's company. Maggie was patient and gentle, never pushing Ethan to move on, but always there, a steady presence in his life. One evening, as they sat on her porch watching the sunset, Maggie turned to him. "Ethan," she said softly, "it's okay to be happy. Clara would want that for you." Ethan's eyes filled with tears. "I know," he said, "but I made her a promise, and I don't know how to keep it." Maggie took his hand. "You don't have to forget her to find happiness. She'll always be a part of you, but you deserve to live, Ethan, really live." Ethan nodded, but the guilt remained. That night, he sat alone in his living room, surrounded by memories of Clara. He picked up a photo of her, her smile frozen in time, and whispered, "I'm trying, Clara, I'm trying." Ethan never remarried. He never fell in love again, but he found small moments of joy in Maggie's friendship, in the beauty of a sunrise, in the laughter of his grandchildren. He honored Clara's memory by living, even if it wasn't the life she had imagined for him. When Ethan passed away many years later, he was buried beside Clara. On his tombstone were the words, "Loving husband, devoted friend, forever hers." And in the quiet of eternity, he and Clara were finally reunited.